Never happened to us.
The worst thing is that nothing could happen. I think we're live.
I'm excited. Hello, it's Thursday.
Hey.
Is it rolling?
I think so. I think I'm the shadowy figure to people's right.
Okay, that's awesome.
Y'all are the
high quality.
Yes. Well, as long as the audio sounds good, so we should.
Audio sounds great.
Yeah, we need to check on Facebook. Hold on, let me pull that up just to make sure all our bells and whistles are whistling and belling. Tim just joined. Tim, how do we sound? See, this is the interactive part, Jeremy. Tim down near the coast, Shade, Texas Craft. See if he can call me. He might be at work. That's the thing is, Tim sometimes, incognito. I should probably not call him out. Why he
listens to
podcasts
while he's working.
Yeah, it's too late though. Now I already called him out.
I used to try to watch Netflix while I was working, but it doesn't. Like, you listen to it, you don't watch it. But
right.
I would listen to it while I was doing my typing. It doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't, because you tend to look over at the TV anyway.
Yeah, it's just not. It doesn't work.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to click around a little bit, see if I can. Window. Here we go. All right. Jeff will respond. Jeff, how are we sounding? Jeff?
Jeff will tell us how it is.
Jeff. Yeah. What am I doing? I gotta hit escape. Hold on. Hopefully, if I crash this call, I apologize again. Window. What am I doing? How do I make that smaller?
I can see it.
Can you see it? Can you hear it? Let's see. You guys sound okay. Seems a bit delayed.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, Catherine seems a bit delayed.
It's always delayed though.
Yeah, it's just a Skype thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all want to do the official start to this thing?
Let's do it, man.
Oh, hold on, let me see. Let's see if I can't. Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna see if I can't break this real quick. What do I do here? I don't know how to work my own computer. Anybody else know how to work my computer? No. Nope. I didn't want to do that. Why'd I do that? Hold on. This is working. No, I can't.
Welcome to Liquid Lunch.
Yeah, you go ahead and talk. Okay, if I hit that, is that gonna mess it up?
It's your midday craft beer show.
Okay, so far that's working.
Oh.
Y'all are still there, right?
Yep.
Okay. So far, so good. Y'all keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Still talking, still rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, listeners and viewers. Welcome to Thursday on Liquid Lunch.
Yes, and? Oh, wait, there we go.
Going?
Yeah, you're going. Let me see if this is working. Is this working? No, that's not working. Y'all just keep talking. It's fine. Just keep going. I'm trying to get the audio stream going, but I don't know that it's working.
Oh, we have a really exciting show today. Along with your two amazing hosts, Josh Stewart and me, Catherine Contreras. We also have the amazing Jeremy Banas on, beer author. Not any author, you guys. He writes beer books, and this is a beer show. Right?
It's a tough job.
It is. Yeah. All right. So, okay. No audio stream today. We'll post the podcast and play it later. It's all good. It's all good.
Perfect.
Okay. Boom. There we go. Hey.
All right.
Do y'all?
Hi.
Hey. Do y'all want?
No.
This is the thing. Do y'all want to turn your camera sideways? Are y'all both? Can y'all do?
I'm on my laptop.
All right,
so.
Jeremy, can you turn your? Yeah. Will that mess you up? We can do this. This is fine. You can see me more.
I've got mine. But is this what you were looking for?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It's fine. Let's do this.
Or do you want to back the other
No,
way?
you're good. All right. Okay. You want to officially start the show? Like with the music?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and start.
Do we want to do the whole song? I don't want to do the whole song. I'll just do this. Hold on. And sing with me, Catherine. Hooray for beer. Liquid lunch. Okay.
All right.
Officially, we've started.
We're here. Hello. Welcome to Thursday.
Catherine.
I think everyone is still hungover from the holidays. That's how I'm still feeling.
You know what it is?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Can I be honest with everybody? Do you know what it actually is?
Please don't lie to us.
Well, it's because Kennedy's not here. Kennedy normally takes care of all of this. And I take him for granted every single week. And I will again once he gets back. But so that's typically how things are different. Kennedy normally makes it work, so he's not here.
Yeah, that's that. We miss Kennedy.
Yeah. So safe travels, buddy. Safe travels. Get back soon, and do this work because man, that's tough. All right. Well, welcome to the show. All right, go on, Catherine. You were talking. Uh-oh. Did
She
it?
went away and came back.
Yeah. Did it go awry again, Catherine? You still got us? Nope. And
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
I hear.
Okay.
Whew. There for a second, I was like,
Whoa.
well,
I'm sorry. I was Kennedy too, because for as awful as he is, he's still better than us.
yes. That is the sweetest thing you could have ever said about him.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about today? And all this stuff. I'm like, we're doing a show.
We're going to talk about beer, right? Because it's a beer show normally, kind of.
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh, then we should
It's like
talk.
a guest thing.
Yes, we.
Cool.
Yeah, we have a guest. All right, here we go. Let's do our opening segment, even though we don't have a cool thing. Imagine it, people. Imagine it.
It's time for your favorite segment and mine here on Liquid Lunch. This is
What you drinking?
There you go. That was the effects. Catherine,
Awesome. Yeah.
what do you got?
So I actually, there are some perks to this job.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is that sometimes I just get beer in the mail
Yeah?
from people that want me to talk about it.
Who?
It's weird.
Yeah? Go
I
on.
got this one from Genesee Brew House.
Where's that?
It's a Simcoe Smash.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's up north somewhere, and I want to say New York.
What?
Obviously, not prepared the way that they would like me to be for this.
Well,
I have a press. They sent me a press release, Josh.
okay. Are you going to read it for a second?
Beer. Well, I'll tell you this: the Genesee Brewery was established in 1878 in New York. It's the state's oldest brewery.
It sounds fascinating. Hold on, I'm going to grab a beer while you discuss that. It's fascinating, but
Okay.
keep going.
Have you ever heard of Genesee, Jeremy?
Yes, I have. And I've had a
Okay. Do you know more about them?
Yeah, pardon me?
Tell us what you know about them?
Not a whole lot. I knew they were the oldest brewery in New York, and I did get to try them at JBF a couple of years, but I didn't get a chance to really meet anybody there.
Awesome. Well, what they sent me was a 5.5% pale ale
Okay.
with the dual purpose Simcoe hop. So that's exciting.
That's
I'm
amazing.
excited about it.
That's
Yeah,
me
I'm
too.
gonna use my teeth to open it. I have to get up in a minute and get a bottle opener because I did not do that step.
See, that's the one thing I came prepared for, is that we always have our tools ready to go. So,
Yep, you got to have one on your keychain.
yeah. Today I am drinking. I've been drinking this all weekend all week actually, because it's I don't know if it's one of my favorite beers, but it's my favorite beer right now.
Okay.
Little lame duck from our friends at 11 Below. They're pale ale
Ooh.
and just delicious. Easy drinking pale ale, hoppy.
Drinking.
Yeah, yummy. So
It's probably better to do easy drinking on Thursdays than it is to do like slam
yeah.
binge drinking on Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I'm kind of out of breath. It turns out I'm not in very good shape.
All that running back and forth in that one room.
Oh, dude, it's
Take it, Daddy.
we need to move the beer fridge into here, but anyway. So
Well, it allows you to get a little exercise if you have to get up and run to the beer fridge.
I know. I probably need to. I need to put together a whole like beer workout, like keg lifts and beer
Ooh.
fridge sprints.
Well, you can get some curls.
That could go viral.
Yeah. Case curls. IPA glass shelf jump to grab. Put them on the top shelf. You have to jump up and grab one.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah. So it's
Maybe like hold a glass between your knees and do some like
squats.
squats.
Yeah. For proper form. Hey to Linda. Hey to Vicky.
That could work.
Hey to Sylvia. And
Ooh, hey to everybody watching.
Jeff.
listening.
Yeah. We got a whole bunch of people like joining in all of a
How's
sudden.
how's your Thursday going, guys?
Yeah. Let us know.
So
Jeff says I have to
Jeremy
finish my
on the
keezer.
show.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Well,
say that? No,
well-
it's okay. I was trying to keep us on track, but it's
Oh,
fine. Let's stay off the rails.
no. Jeff asked if I've gotten any further on my keezer, and I have. I was this close to posting this hilarious Instagram post that said, "Ha! Finally collared you." But I put the collar on, basically, is what you can imagine it.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Neat.
yeah, I got the collar on. I replaced the plug because that was all worn out. So I had to do a little electrician work and strip wires and stuff. I felt very manly at that moment, and it actually worked and didn't blow up. And then I got the thermostat override ready to go. So I'm basically just waiting on actual Keyser parts. I need some taps and some shanks and some hoses and that sort of thing. Yeah, barbs. Some barbs. I need some barbs. So anyway, okay. Yeah, that's the update there, Jeff. It's close. It'll be actually in studio over there in that corner when it's done.
Sweet.
Yeah, with shelves above it for proper glassware.
Of course, always, Josh.
All right, you were saying. Sorry,
Okay, so we do have a guest today. Mm-hmm. Big surprise. Jeremy Banas, author of Pearl: A History of San Antonio's Iconic Beer. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in. Tell us about this book and where this inspiration came from to write it.
Well, I'd had a book come out a couple of years ago on San Antonio's brewing history, dating back to the early 1850s up to the present. Pearl's history of that was 120 years, and we had to limit it to 2 chapters. There was so much information. I'd written the book with a friend of mine, Travis Poling. So after about 6 months after that book had been out, I got the bug to start writing again and decided, well, there was too much information to limit to 2 chapters. Let's do a whole book.
Nice.
You know what it is? This is like the San Antonio beer book is like The Hobbit. And then you came in with this new one, which is more like your Lord of the Rings. It's a very small amount of time, maybe.
Yeah, and I was actually given a year to write it, and I ended up procrastinating and did the equivalent of starting the night before, 5.5 months before it was due. So I did all the research and writing in 5.5 months.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't really do much of anything else. I cut back on a lot of the other freelancing and focused on that, but I'll tell you, for as much as I thought I already knew, there was so much more I learned from this.
That's so awesome. So tell me about this process of research. Did you drink just a shitload of Pearl beer, or is that part of the process?
Well, no. Drink a shitload of other beer while I'm drinking it. But Pearl is, for anybody who didn't know, Pearl is still brewed just in much smaller quantities than it used to be, and you don't see it everywhere, but you still see it around town, absolutely. But no, unfortunately, for a history book about beer, most of the research is in dusty rooms with no windows and no.
Sounds super lame.
So you go drink a hell of a lot right afterwards.
Yeah.
The one nice thing was, since a lot of the research was in the downtown area or down at the Pearl archives themselves, when I got done, I could walk right over to Southerly, that's inside the old Pearl Brew House, and drink while I was writing up my notes.
Nice.
So who owns Pearl now? It's not Pabst bought it at one time, but does Pabst still own the Pearl rights and everything?
Yeah, so that's a kind of a dual thing. Silver Ventures, which is owned by Kit Goldsberry, he was the gentleman who used to own Pace Foods and sold it to Campbell's in the late 90s. Mm-hmm. That's where he made most of his money and formed a company called Silver Ventures. Silver Ventures bought the Pearl a year after it shut down, and so he's responsible for all the redevelopment we see down at the Pearl. Pabst Brewing still owns the rights to the name Pearl and the rights to brew it. Pearl themselves now can use the Pearl logo and advertise, but only basically down there. So for the book cover, for example, the logo on the front, the Pearl logo, I had to go to Pabst to get permission to use that. Mm-hmm. But I needed the current Pearl ownership, the brewery buildings and everything, their help and cooperation to access some of the old archives that they inherited.
Okay. So the history of Pearl, I believe I was doing some research before. It opened originally, 83 or something like that?
Yeah, so it actually didn't open up as Pearl. It opened up by the name City Brewery in 1883 by a transplant to San Antonio from Chicago, a gentleman named J.B. Belaratsky. So he opened it up, and at the time he opened it up, it was the largest and most modern brew house in San Antonio. Right around that time, the original Lone Star Brewery that was opened by Adolphus Busch was opened up, and if anybody's heard the name Otto Kaler, he was one of the original founders of the Pearl. Mm-hmm. He was actually asked to be brought down to San Antonio to run Lone Star by Adolphus Busch. He had worked for Adolphus Busch in St. Louis. Long story short, him and a few other local San Antonio residents ended up buying City Brewery in early 1886. Rechartered the company as the San Antonio Brewing Association. It remained that way until '52 when they renamed themselves Pearl after their well-known flagship beer. So they didn't actually become known as Pearl, the company, until the early '50s. But yeah, it goes way back to 1883.
I think that's a good move when you have a beer that is the name. It has a name that more people recognize than the actual brewery name, like Sam Adams. That's the Boston Beer Company, but everybody just calls them, Sam Adams.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe they should go back and do that. Maybe just rename the brewery Sam Adams. Is it too late?
Well, and the one thing by the 50s, I think San Antonio Brewing Association realized there's so much more competition than there had been before. Pearl Brewing Company had a lot more remembrance than San Antonio Brewing Association, which even now to say all of that's a little bit of a mouthful. Mm-hmm. So it was really, like you said, very smart on their part to make it easier to remember and recognize.
Yeah. Most people didn't know that it was more, it was bigger than Lone Star, right? It was like a lot of people here in Houston always talk about, Lone Star beer. I think it was in that battle really with Lone Star really came more after Prohibition because there were two Lone Stars. The original Lone Star opened up in the 1880s by Adolphus Busch, and it shut down in Prohibition. They tried to make a go of staying open like Pearl did, but they shut down. And when Prohibition ended in '33, a guy opened Champion Brewing in San Antonio and renamed it Lone Star as kind of an homage to the original Lone Star Brewery, and then had the beer Lone Star that everybody knows. But the original Lone Star never actually had a beer called Lone Star. Two different breweries. So the big kind of rivalry between the two didn't start until the second Lone Star, really in the 30s and 40s. But man, it was quite a rivalry for sure. But yeah, Pearl overall was still ultimately a little bit larger. And, we can say it doesn't matter, but we all know it matters.
It matters.
Yeah. Catherine, have you ever had a Pearl beer? I've never had one.
I don't know.
So, Jeremy, you said it's available around. Where is it widely available in the San Antonio area? Only there at the Pearl, or where can you find it? Is it just it's
not widely available. I'll see it at I don't know if Freetail's Brew Pub still does or not, but they would have like $2 Lone Star and Pearls for somebody who didn't. Of course, they didn't like doing it, but they had that people who didn't want their stuff. Southerly certainly does, and you will see some of the bars around town. And I'll be honest, it's been miscellaneous, hit or miss bars that you'll still see cans of Pearl. But once Pabst closed down the Pearl Brew House in 2001, and all the brewing shifted up to Miller and Fort Worth, the amount of Pearl did drop considerably. But yeah, you can still get it. Absolutely.
Yeah. The thing that fascinates me, I guess, from an outsider, because I didn't grow up in Texas, so I wasn't privy to any of this information until I started looking at the history of Houston beer a while ago before I interviewed Ronnie on his book on Houston, and then reading some of your stuff on the San Antonio book, and then researching the Pearl. I didn't realize how big the German, it makes sense, beer, Germany, all that kind of stuff, but the German influence in the San Antonio area especially, you think about, you just mentioned Freetail and Scott. He's a nice mix of German and Mexican, He's like that perfect.
Yeah, I think a lot of, I know that I have a lot, I call myself a Ger-Mexican.
Do you?
And I think it's pretty prevalent here.
I had no idea. What other Ger-Mexicans do I know?
You probably know a lot. You just don't. There's such a heavy amount of people in this area that have German roots and settled here.
So I mean, I know the beers, the German style beers go great with the Mexican style food, but is there any like German influence on the
It's
Mexican
really
style
interesting, just personally from my experience growing up, we didn't really talk about or celebrate the German part that much.
Well,
it was there, and it's probably why I can't tan. I know that. I know why I sunburned, actually. But we always really focused on the Mexican or the Hispanic culture and didn't really dive a lot. I mean, occasionally we'll like go out to New Braunfels or Castroville or somewhere and have like a German meal, but it wasn't something that we really learned a lot about.
Yeah. Well, one, you're right by Mexico, so it's like you want us to be like, oh, we're part of that, and then those Germans are way over there, right? And then there's that whole World War II thing.
And I also think there's a lot of taboo around like where you originally came, what kind of Germans you are, and was there Jewish blood involved, and were names changed, and like I think people sort of we're like, oh no, we're just Mexican.
Yeah. Well, there's so much intermixing, but you're my favorite Ger-Mexican.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy. I really want Barbacoa Apparel to make a Ger-Mexican shirt. It's been my plight since this.
Nice.
Yeah.
You were talking about German and then Mexican influence. So beer as we know it in Texas, especially San Antonio, was because of German immigrants. San Antonio's first brewery, which was also the first commercially licensed in Texas, was the Western Brewery, which was down at the Menger Hotel and started by William Menger. But an interesting thing about that was he had come from Germany. His brewmaster, Charles Deegan, had moved here from Germany. But the beer that made Charles Deegan and the Western Brewery famous up until just about when Prohibition started was a beer. It was a German beer called an alt beer. So it wasn't a lager, which was weird at the time. You still saw mostly lagers and pilsners, but an alt beer was a German beer. But he actually added an ingredient found in Mexico. So he added piloncillo sugar from Mexico. So if anybody's not familiar, that's the coned brown sugar you see in the grocery store. He actually combined a little bit of the Hispanic influence in San Antonio with his German roots in brewing, which was clearly way outside. There you go, Josh. That was clearly way outside what Germans were doing, sticking to the purity law at the time. But yeah, and I was able to recreate that recipe in the first book, Josh, that Josh has. And you know what? That sugar adds a nice little sweetness to it.
What was the name of the sugar again?
Piloncillo.
Okay. What is what?
So it's brown sugar, Mexican brown sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like in a cone, like it looks like a little hat.
Yeah.
Brown. You can find it in if you go to HEB, it would be like in the Hispanic aisle. You know how they have like that one aisle? It's all just like rice.
Well, as a homebrewing nerd, what makes it different? What is it made with, like Mexican sugar cane or something?
Yeah, it's the way they brown the sugar, I guess. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure, but that was the only reference I found to that recipe using that sugar was from the Menger Hotel themselves. Other references to the recipe were scattered. And I had to piece it all together. But they said that piloncillo sugar had been used in it and didn't hurt the beer at all. It still tastes like a nice German alt beer, just a little bit sweeter. So there's your Ger-Mexican beer, Catherine.
There you go. I saw Preston from The Grain Cellar, one of today's sponsors of today's show, Humble's premier homebrew store. Preston, if you know how to brew an alt beer with Mexican brown sugar, the blah, 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 brown sugar.
What's that?
Huh? I'm sorry. Sometimes Skype's out.
Okay. It skips a bunch.
It does. Sometimes it's technology, but anyway, we should look into that. And then somebody else brought up the German Mexican music fusion, the oompa, polka style.
Tejano is like that polka Tejano, like Mexican. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh wait, what did Press say? He has 2 cones of it there at the store in Humble.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so head on over to Humble and you can make yourself some of that. Mexican-inspired alt beer. Our Mexican, what was it? Ger-Mexican alt.
There you go.
Yeah. Ooh, somebody should do that. That would sell.
Yep. I'm now going to use that for that beer. It's a Ger-Mexican beer.
Yeah, it would go great with fajitas, beef fajitas.
Here you go.
I can taste it now. Anyway.
Mm.
We should also say thank you to Barbacoa Apparel. Speaking of Barbacoa Apparel.
Oh, well, I mean, since you're going to throw it out there, thank you.
Yeah. Any Barbacoa Apparel events or anything like that, past, present, in the new year?
We have some exciting stuff on the horizon, but we're always around town. We're always doing festivals and different stuff, and you can probably just step outside your front door and find one of us.
That's good. Thanks, Preston. What is it? San Patricio?
San Patricio?
Patricio.
Mm-hmm.
San Patricio. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Dan Regalia? Yeah, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so I have to lean to the thing. He's watching too. Hey, Dan, how's it going? All right. If you have any questions for Jeremy, just pass them along. And more riveting,
That's right.
me passing those along and getting them spoken to. So, all right, so the writing of a book, I've always thought I might have a book in me somewhere. I don't know what it'd be about or how long it would be or who would illustrate it.
I feel like probably everyone feels that way.
Mm.
Like everyone's like, that's with anything, right? Oh, I could do that. And then you sit down and you're like, oh, I don't have the attention span to do this at all.
That's true. Maybe a short story.
Yeah. Maybe 3 paragraphs of some riveting stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So was the first book, is it like having children? I guess like the first one's super terrifying. And then the second one, you're like, I've done this before. It's not going to,
Yeah.
It's
kind of like it's making funny noises. You don't know what to do with it. Do you burp it? Do you set it down and walk away? What do you do with it? But the second one, obviously a lot more. And I'll say definitely writing it with the first one with someone benefited me greatly and prepared me for being able to do this one on my own.
Yeah.
It is attention span is definitely something you gotta have and focus on it. And I had to set daily goals for myself, not just a weekly goal, but I had to set daily goals. I had to write, half hour, an hour every single day. Even on the days where I did just mainly research, I still had to go home and at least write out some notes on what I had researched so I could write more the next day. But I'd always have to make up what I didn't write the day before. It was, especially when you wait to what is the book equivalent of the 11th hour to start writing it. 5.5 months, not a lot of time. So I really had to be diligent about it. And my kids were saints as usual in me sitting at the kitchen table or up in my room, writing away, cooking dinner, then sitting down and writing, and serving dinner and sitting back down and writing and everything.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge, but once I got going, then it was real hard to stop. So there'd be days I'd write more than others.
Awesome.
What inspired you to write beer books? I mean, where did your love for beer come from?
Well, it's beer. My dad was a big beer drinker growing up. Of course, he drank what most of our parents drank, or we drank. He was big on Pabst and Stroh's growing up, and Coors. But I don't know. I wasn't as into it, or curious about it growing up as I was in early adulthood. And just really what I liked was that at the time I really started having more of a beer was early 90s, and we started seeing some variety come out there. And so I enjoyed trying something new, and the more I tried it, something new, I tried something else new, and it sort of just kind of snowballed from there. And I got to see the creativity behind it, meet a brewer now and then and talk to them and see how passionate they were about it. And I always loved writing, so it was a natural progression to start writing about beer at some point.
Okay. Now, Catherine, you can help with this question.
Okay.
Delve deep into this one. If
Right.
San Antonio Beer, the movie, is made,
Yeah.
who plays who?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's.
Okay. well, let's talk about who's around,
Mhm.
right? So Scott obviously would have to play himself because
Nobody else can be Scott.
nobody else could be Scott, right?
Okay.
And he likes a little camera time. Let's not lie. Right?
How many documentaries has he been on now?
Yeah, he doesn't mind it. Joey would be played by Shia LaBeouf.
Now, is that Shia LaBeouf with the bag over his head or without the bag over his head?
Well, probably without the bag, but I see where you're coming from. Let's see. Who else? Who else have given in here?
See, now,
There's so many, like, I don't know. Oh, that's
As her Scott clears up, Jeremy, what I like that if your happiest face right there, Catherine, is where it paused. That was good.
sorry, my internet cut out for just a second, and I didn't hear anything you guys said, but I'm sure it was fascinating.
No, I think it was Scott who's like, you've talked about me now. Stop.
Mhm.
Now, are there any foils in this movie? Is there like who in this, like in the San Antonio beer scene, is there like a politician or somebody like that would be the main bad guy? Do we have anybody? Or can we make up a character?
Yeah,
I feel like that's hard.
that'd be more the beer distributors, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we actually had in 2013, when some of the laws significantly changed, we actually had a couple of state politicians really champion for those laws to change. So I'd say we could put it on some of the beer distributors, not all of them, because some of them are very good.
I think to make this movie really interesting and bring it into the 21st century, I think, all right, so what we do is we make it like a historical, like we have like the first scene is like the opening to the 1880s, the beginning of beer in San Antonio, and then smash cut, maybe a musical montage like a la Rocky IV or something like that, like where they're just making beer, and somebody's running up a hill or the one hill that you haven't seen or however long, and then Prohibition, and then some bad guy comes in and he's like ha 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 ha, and then after Prohibition finally ends, he makes all the stupid laws like like beer before noon on Sunday, and they can't sell it after midnight in a grocery store, even though the grocery store is open till 1 and the bar can sell it till 2, and all those the silly laws. And then somehow, right at Prohibition, he gets cryogenically frozen somehow, or put into a time warp or something, and then he's brought forward to today. And the craft beer movement starts out, and he's trying to trip up the craft brewers at every step. Yeah,
you really thought this through spontaneously right now.
Yeah, it's a gift. And
I kind of feel like the beer media scene in San Antonio is pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
The beer scene itself is still growing.
Well, see, what that could be is because if there is a time warp, then you open up yourself to other magical, less than realistically based issues going on. So maybe this bad guy from Prohibition and all that kind of stuff, maybe he's got a spell over the people, and that's why they haven't awoke completely. Yeah, it's like the Matrix. There's a little bit of Matrix in there, and you got to wake them up from the macro.
Completely based on facts.
Yeah. And what you've got to do, somebody, maybe you, Catherine, maybe you're the heroine of this movie, you've got to find the pearl of San Antonio. There's an actual pearl.
Oh, in the Alamo basement.
The red pearl or the blue pearl?
Oh. Yeah. So, and once you find it, then everybody awakes to the fact that, craft beer, local beer is delicious. Like, why didn't it's like my palate was in a dream this entire time.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great if you just handed somebody a beer and they're like, oh, I just woke up. This is amazing. I'm putting down this Budweiser.
Yes. Yes. And somewhere that guy, he's like shaking his butt. We can't kill him off, or she. We can't kill him off because we got to set it up for a sequel. But what we could do, here's what we could do. Here's where it gets a little bit multi-layered, right? You have an appearance by Brock Wagner with Scott at some point, and that ties it into the Houston beer movie. And then it's like, then the Avenger. Eventually, we have an Avengers. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll have an Austin movie, but I don't know. Will it?
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch that.
Nobody's gonna want to watch it. It's like
indie.
Yeah, it's like the Incredible Hulk of these movies.
Yeah, it's like black and white.
Yeah. And then the Dallas, whatever.
Well, it'd be like any trilogy that, the first one being the San Antonio movie. You can't replace
Always the best.
Right. But
Yeah.
the second one being Houston might be better than the first one. It's always going to be an argument. Kind of like Godfather 1 and 2. I mean, one story, really. But,
Right.
yeah.
That's
So,
a hard one. Yeah.
anyway. That could work.
Thank you, Josh.
I think we already figured out that for the Houston movie, Woody Harrelson will play Brock Wagner.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yep. They're both slight of frame, light colored hair,
Like
tall drinks of water. Yeah. Jeffrey's saying write that down. Oh wait, what did Tim Foley saying? William Dafoe has to play the villain. Is the distributor head or the TABC head or something? Maybe.
There you go. There you go.
That's a good idea.
This is Academy Award winning. I can already feel it.
Yeah. Jules is asking where Kennedy is.
Kennedy's not with us today. He's fine, but he had some personal stuff he had to take care of.
Yeah. Normally we would just say on assignment, but yeah, since Catherine just said
On assignment.
Yeah, Catherine just said personal stuff. So yeah. It's stuff he probably should have been dealing with a long time now, issues built up, issues that,
Stuff happened.
probably going to take a lot more than 1 week to figure out, but it's a first step. It's a first step.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, what else? What else could we add to this movie? We need some explosions for sure. What could
We
explode?
need some music.
Oh, well, why not,
We could have some yeast that grows out of control, so much so that it lids off the fermenters.
oh yes, it like somebody comes in and puts like super.
Maybe it attacks the city.
Fights the yeast or something.
Yeah, that could be a great subplot.
Oh my goodness.
It's
And
a
there's
distract.
no tacos anywhere.
Ooh.
Well, that would be an awful movie.
yeah.
Let's not even talk about
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Yeah. No, the prohibition guy starts.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, he starts when he gets into control. He starts talking about prohibiting tacos.
Yeah.
You lost me at no talk.
And then we just shoot him right in the head right there.
And that's just the end.
We have to have a love interest, love triangle, murder aspect to all of these. too.
That's true.
Oh, okay, so the donkey lady and
Donkey lady.
the donkey lady and
Sam Bowie?
coyote have to fall in love.
Oh my gosh.
Or
Yeah. What would that be? What would their kids be? Some sort of
That would be
monstrosity.
something like that.
Yeah.
see, fortunately, in the
Yeah.
Pearl real history,
Okay.
we've got a sort of a murder mystery love triangle going on
Really? Go on.
that I talk about quite a lot in the book.
Mm.
Ooh.
Otto Kaler, one of the founders, who
Yeah.
ended up being the primary owner and president, his wife Emma Kaler, who the hotel here at the Pearl Brew House, the hotel Emma's named after. He ended up with two mistresses. His wife was injured, and he hired a nurse whose name was Emma. She later on brought her friend who was named Emma as well as another nurse, and he had affairs with both of them.
Oh yeah, you did.
Bought him a house here in San Antonio, and one of them ended up shooting him.
Oh.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, and his wife Emma took over the brewery.
Really?
So we got a
Yeah.
little.
What happened to the other Emma though?
Well, okay, so the one that actually shot him, what ended up going off to Europe to be a nurse for the Allies during World War I. So she escaped grand jury, having to testify to the grand jury. The other one they knew hadn't had any involvement, but she ended up trying to kind of move out and distance herself from things. But when the nurse, Emma Burgermeister, came back from Europe, she ended up being indicted by the grand jury and had to testify in front of an all-male jury. Quite a lot of controversy surrounding all of that, even because one of the cops had testified on her behalf. She had hired to do some investigative work on Otto Kaler before he was shot. There's just a lot of funny business going on. Was it really an accident that she shot him, or was it planned? And then the other Emma, who was actually innocent of the shooting but present at the time, when the trial was over, she ended up marrying one of the jurors and moved into the very house that Otto Kaler bought for the two Emmas.
Wow.
But the Emma that did the shooting, Emma Burgermeister, she was found innocent of all charges by an all-male jury.
Wow.
Well, she must have been a very pretty lady.
I was going to say,
She was described as absolutely beautiful and very enchanting when she spoke to people. So
Yeah.
that'll do
That's how
it.
people describe Josh.
very enchanting.
Yeah, he's enchanting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But see, we could find a way to make that a little weirder for the movie too, though.
For sure.
Mm. Maybe the two Emmas hook up and they drive off like Thelma and Louise style or something at the end, like off of.
There you go.
So I don't know. That would be some Emma on Emma crime. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, the Sternworth bar at the Hotel Emma has got a kind of a menage kind of drink named after all three Emmas called the Three Emmas.
Mm.
But when you think about it, not that we're excusing cheating on a spouse, but
Right.
his two mistresses, he was smart. They were both the same name as his wife. He didn't have to worry about accidentally saying one of their names to the other. You said Emma, wrong.
That sounds like a shrewd businessman.
Yeah.
Or a really awful person, one of the two. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Well,
He's doing his thing.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you're gonna do it, look,
Do it all the way.
yeah, nobody should cheat on their.
Smart about it.
Nobody should ever cheat on their spouse. I'll go on record as that.
But
But if you're gonna do it, this is probably the route to go, except for the part where she has a gun.
absolutely.
Right. You got to make sure they're not crazy.
Yeah, well, or just that they're terrified of guns. That's like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And the odd thing too is the shots that she fired was one to the chest, two to the chest, and one to the head. They were in such specific spots. She said that she got nervous as he approached her, allegedly with a knife in his hand, and so she fired and didn't realize what she was doing, and that she put the gun to her head and tried to shoot herself afterwards out of guilt, but missed. So the prosecutor said, well, so you fired at him across the room and hit him in 3 specific spots, but the gun's straight to your head and you missed?
she's the Black Widow character. We need to get.
There's some shenanigans going on for sure.
Yeah, she's an assassin, is what she is.
Yeah. So we've so in the middle of a history book, we've got a nice little Kardashian drama thing going on.
That's awesome.
So when is the new book? When is that going to be available to the masses?
It is officially available on pre-order now through my website or Amazon, but it'll be in bookstores officially on Monday, 15th.
Okay, cool. Pick
Perfect.
that up.
I've got official book launch party going on at the Pearl Brew House, specifically at the Hotel Emma, on next Thursday, the 18th at 6:30.
Very nice.
So everybody get that book. Read it ahead of time, so then you can complain that the book was way better than the movie
Right.
that we left.
Read
So
it now before we make this movie.
yeah, I had that first experience with my daughter. She's in 5th grade, so she's reading like books that they're actually making into movies. So she read what was the one, Wonder, and we went to see the movie. She was infuriated. She's like, they left so much out. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is a life lesson that you've got to grab onto right there, because that's if you keep up with that reading, life is going to keep disappointing you, because it's hard for real life to keep up. It's hard for movies to keep up with the wonder of books. But that's a great movie, though. I'll say I didn't read the book. The movie was great. So I enjoyed the movie. Wonder. Check that one out with your kids. I recommend it. You know what it's about, Catherine? Have you seen Wonder?
Wait.
No?
What's that? What?
Wonder. Do you know what Wonder's about? Have you seen Wonder?
No, you broke up just a little bit. No, I did not. Well, it's about a kid that's different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know that he said disability or something.
Well, he's got a bunch of scars on his face because he's had a bunch of surgeries, and he's supposed to have. She was so upset because he was supposed to have hearing aids, but he didn't, or cochlear implants and that sort of thing. Didn't have them, and she was just like, they left that part out. And anyway, so the kid's at school. He finally goes to public school. They make fun of him. He always wears a face mask when he walks around the neighborhood and things. But anyway, But it's a heartwarming story. You get some buddies, and I'm not going to give it all away. But worth a watch. Worth a watch. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, Jeremy, what book-related events and things do people need to be watching out for around the San Antonio area? You've got
Like I said, I got the book launch at Hotel Emin next Thursday at 6:30. I haven't gotten final confirmation on them, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, the 19th, 20th, and 21st, there's at each of the Alamo Draft House locations in San Antonio. They're trying. Real Ale Brewing's trying to set up a viewing of the documentary Brewed in the 210, and I would be there also talking on any of the panels and selling copies of the book. The Twig Bookstore on the 20th from 11 to 1 during the farmers market. And then I've got a couple of coming up in the following weeks after that.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
that's in the immediate future.
All right. Do me a favor. Is there like on your website or the dates on your website?
Not yet. I've posted them a little bit on Facebook or Instagram, but I am going to be getting something up in the next day or two that'll have everything listed.
Okay, cool. If you can send that along send that along so we can retweet it and Facebook it and all that kind of stuff, so that we can make sure everybody knows. A few more shouts out. Dean watching. Hey, Dean. And Kennedy tried to call in. Kennedy, we had to disable the drunk dial line. Sorry for the day for me to set up because you weren't here. So I forget about Real Ale. It's right there. Who are they going to be in the movie? Somebody's got to be like the Real Ale, like I don't know, like they're like the Black Panther or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Got to figure out who would play Brad Farbstein.
Yeah. I don't know. So many possibilities. If anybody's into movies.
Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman could play Brad.
Okay. Well, why not? I mean, he's not doing Wolverine anymore, so have him.
Exactly.
He's got the time.
Brad's kind of badass anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, speaking of he's got the time, we don't really have a whole lot left because both of you guys are busy today. I guess we all are. We got things to do. We only have so much time to sit down and talk about beer and drink a beer, and then we got to go out and do the beer stuff, right? So.
And I gotta go drink gin in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody's got to do it.
It's awful.
All right. Well, we've learned a lot today, Catherine. We've learned a lot today.
Yeah.
We've learned one. There's an awesome book on the way this Monday, so pre-order today. Amazon is one of the places you could go, and if you want to, I mean, just for grins, go to liquidlunchshow.com/Amazon, order that book, and we all get to wet our little beaks here, like on the lame duck can. We can wet our beaks. Let's see what else. There should be in a couple of years, maybe an epic book or epic movie titled San Antonio.
Let's keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. So if y'all want to pass along this episode to anybody that's in the movies, maybe Marco, do you know anybody? Marco Ortega. Speaking of Brewed in the 210, fascinating history of San Antonio beer. Love, loss, murder, revenge. True love.
Right.
It's like The Princess Bride all over again. Has all those.
Yeah.
Are there any giants? That's the one thing we're missing.
We are missing a giant.
Okay.
That could be Big Beer. They could be the evil giant.
They're the evil giant. So true.
Done.
But come on, Andre the Giant was too lovable in that movie.
He was very lovely.
It was great. Anybody want a peanut? I love that. I could probably quote that entire movie.
I know. I think most of us probably could.
Yeah. All right. Catherine, anything going on that you want to talk about real quick? Do.
Right now, I've got pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet. Maybe next week I might have some fun stuff to talk about. But for right now, keep putting it on the DL.
Okay, we will. I've got an interview with Twisted Acre, brand new brewery up here in the Cypress area. Not even open yet. I think this is my first for Interbrews coming up, so be on the watch out for that. What is today? Is today the 11th?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tomorrow. I should probably get ready for that. So there's that, and of course more Liquid Lunch right here. I'm going to play some music. Hopefully it's not too loud. But next week we'll be right back here. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So have fun with that gin, and
I will.
don't be shy about throwing out that movie idea.
Just to everyone you meet. Just pitch it everywhere.
Yeah.
I've got to talk to Marco tomorrow anyway. I'll
Perfect.
on it.
Yeah. That's what we need. It's going to be good. I really see something to this, Catherine.
All right.
All
Work
right.
on it.
Okay. Well, all right, Catherine, you go do your thing. Jeremy, you go do your thing, and I'll go do my thing. And all you people watching out there in Texas Beer Land, you go do your thing. That means drinking local beer. Delicious, delicious Texas beer with a beautiful, beautiful history behind it. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it here. And guys, join us back next week, noon on Thursday. Tell all your friends and all their friends' friends and all their friends' friends' friends to join us. Check out Barbacoa Apparel, barbacoaapparel.com. Buy some of those awesome T-shirts. Thank you to Preston and the Grain Cellar there in Humble. Do some home brewing, drink local, and we'll see you back here next week.
Hooray for beer! Liquid Lunch.